What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we are channeling the energy of the Angry Beaver. And I hope that hit you right in the nostalgia, just like it hit me in the nostalgia. We got a Shadow Bibarel focusing on today's, or being focused with on today's video, and that is going to be coupled with a couple other Shadow Pokemon. I was just going to have some fun in the Great League, playing a triple Shadow team, so we cored it with Jumpluff. Bibarel and Jumpluff, by the way, make an extremely good core. I would highly recommend using these two on a team together because they just cover each other very nicely. And on the third, we wanted to try our Shadow Sand Attack Gliscor using Night Slash and Aerial Ace. I'm going to say this team, Triple Shadow is a bit of a meme. I would say that regular Gliscor is fine, regular Bibarel is preferred, but Jumpluff on the Shadow is just something that I've always preferred because Aerial Ace hits a little bit harder, it makes it a little bit easier for it to play those matchups. Now, playing this team was a lot of fun. Bibarel is so good now, and you'd be surprised how much these shadow surfs hit. Let's get into the first game here against an Ariados lead. Incredibly good lead for a rollout user in our Bibarel, and we are just going to town. Look at how much damage these rollouts are doing. We're gonna go ahead and catch a move here. I was kind of hoping it was gonna be a Trailblaze. The opponent goes ahead and throws the lunge here. Unfortunately, we do get their attack drop, and the opponent's gonna come in with a Feraligatr. I'm gonna go for the Night Slash here because the opponent would be able to get to a Hydro Cannon and KO us if we were to go for the Aerial Ace because it's just a little bit more energy. Sand Attack Gliscor is extremely strong. It's basically like old Gligar, especially if you have a chance to, get it on in a good matchup, right? Like, it completely destroys things like Electrics, and you're going to see some of that too as well. Also, one of the things that I'm going to highlight here, you see how much damage that Shadow Hydro Cannon did. So that's the exact reason that I would be wanting to use normal Bibarel, is if you were to be using it as your primary swap into an opposing Feraligatr, because an opposing Feraligatr can two-shot Shadow Bibarel with these Hydro Cannons. So it's a very, very difficult matchup for the Bibarel. Now, you could also run a Purified Bibarel, but I would, however, say, and this is the situation that I was faced with as well, I would only use a Purified Bibarel if you already have a good Shadow and you don't need a second, right? That's the only time that I would really be willing to invest into a return Purified Bibarel. Otherwise, just use a regular one or use a Shadow one. I like the regular one personally because of that bulk, and it already is. It's a pretty attack-weighted Pokemon already as it is. So Trailblaze is going to be double resistant, but the opponent getting these Poison Stings off they're adding up very quickly. It's going to come down to what is going to be in the back. We're already looking pretty low, but the opponent has a Diggersby. We're going to be able to go for the Energy Ball. We have a Surf on the Bibarel. I don't know how much damage the Surf is going to do. I already considered this game lost, but we're going to combo play with the Surf, and we're going to find out. And I've been told this does a lot, but look, oh my goodness, over half HP on a Diggersby. Oh my goodness, dude, good game. The Shadow Bibarel bails us out once again. We have a terrible lead, superior on the lead in the next game. Immediate safe switch into Gliscor. The cool thing here is that we can get to the Aerial Ace just one turn before the opponent. We get to the Frenzy Plant by going for with the Sand Attacks here. So we're able to do a pretty significant amount of damage, and that honestly puts the opponent in a range where they might actually be threatened by something like a Hyper Fang later in the game. Now, the opponent comes in with a Claude Siren. I'm not really sure I understand this play. It's early season, right? You're going to get a mix of all kinds of players with all kinds of strategies, and it's totally fine, right? So they're going to go for that Stone Edge. Their Poison Stings are they're actually on Mudshot, I found out. It's hard to see with the Shadow Gliscor animation and all that, but they are on Mudshot here, so I'm not really worried about their fast moves, but I can go for these charge moves, trying to get rid of this thing. Now, what I would have done in the opponent's shoes is I would have thrown that Frenzy Plant and then swapped out, because that would have basically forced the shield off of my Gliscor immediately. Now they're going to come in with their Feraligatr and immediately be able to farm me down. I'm not getting to a move here at all, so unfortunate, but Bibarel's going to come in and absorb the energy from the opponent. They're able to somehow go for two, and then I can't get another rollout through. That was interesting. The game is in a great state. Also, I don't know why I'm not getting my moves through when I'm supposed to. I don't know. But anyway, they go for two and swap, and at least in that sense, it makes sense. But the opponent has left me a wide opening to take advantage of here, as they have swapped in their superior to a point where my Jumpluff can come and farm it down. And I think I have to try and farm it all the way down here. I don't really have a choice. I can't throw energy, because then the Feraligatr can easily just come in and make me very sad. So we fully farm down here, and we're going to go for the Aerial Ace. I would like to go for an Energy Ball here, but the opponent, honestly, is likely to shield this. So I'm going to go for the Aerial Ace. They do shield. Thankfully, we kind of have to go for now the Energy Ball. I don't think I'm getting to a second move, and so I'm just going to Hail Mary the Energy Ball. The opponent does have to shield that up, and we're able to get to a Hyper Fang, and this is going to knock out the opponent's Feraligatr. So even though it's not a great straight matchup, Bibarel is able to really easily dance around Feraligatr here. Well played to the opponent. Next game, we got Morpeko. This thing is a disastrous thing to see on the lead, so I'm safe switching into my Jumpluff here because I know that they have a bad matchup into the Gliscor, and I would rather save the Gliscor for later. Although, in hindsight, considering that they came in with a Clodsire, I'm wondering maybe if they're triple weak to Gliscor, which would be an interesting choice. The opponent and I are going to CMP tie here. Going to go for some damage on the Aerial Ace. I don't know if they have Sludge Bomb or Stone Edge. I'm about to find out. I'm going to let this go. I can let Bibarel come in here and try to get some energy. They do have the Stone Edge, so I'm going to try to see if I can get to another Energy Ball, and we are able to get there. Opponent's looking for that farm down, though. And Gliscor still looking pretty strong. I want to save shields for it if I can, because I feel like it might be able to sweep here, considering that they have the Morpeko in the back. I'm going to bring in my Gliscor. The opponent let us get switch advantage here, and I'm going to take advantage of that fact. I can let the first move go. It's either Psychic Fangs or resisted, or should be resisted Aura Wheel anyway. And then we're going to be able to go for a charge move here. And the opponent does have to shield this, even if they are resisting this damage, because Morpeko is so glassy. And then look at the sand attack start to rip to my hairs. My hair's doing the mad scientist thing. I whoosh. I'm going to get it. Might get it cut soon. We'll see. But we're going to go ahead and get into the opponent's coming in with the Sableye. And Bibarel is just licking his chops in the back there. Just ready to channel that big saucy beaver energy into the Surf, and that will probably, I mean, we've seen how much damage a Surf does to something that's extremely bulky. Now, the opponent does not have a Purified Sableye. If that was a return, I probably would have been cooked, to be honest. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't have that. If they had a Purified Sableye, probably would have been bad for me, but they don't have the ability to take that Surf, and that's a good game well played. Next game up, we got another Serperior, the Grass Snake, on the lead here. Danger Noodle is back, and we're going to get into the Gliscor again, do the same thing. The opponent actually safe swaps, or counter swaps, I should say, into a Dunsparce. And I don't know what it is with the rollout animation, but I have constantly been throwing on bad timing because I tend to rely on the animations for timing when I'm doing like one-turn moves. So yeah, you're going to see me throw out alignment a lot. A couple of times it works out, and then I'm just going to start letting moves through, and it's just like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? So Aerial Ace is going to be the same type attack bonus damage here, doing a little bit more than Night Slash, even though it's slightly more energy. I'd rather go for the stab damage here. I have an opportunity to farm down here, but look at this. I'm telling you, we just throw an alignment. I let a whole rollout through by accident, and I was meaning to throw one before the end of their move, but they shield up, and at this point, I think I'm okay to shield up, try to farm down and win switch advantage here, because I would like to be able to put my Jumpluff on that Serperior if I can. Opponent now swaps back into the Serperior, and I can go for this Aerial Ace and jump into my Jumpluff, rather. So which is exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go into Jumpluff. The opponent is ahead, so I'm going to have to take 2 Aerial Aces if I want to be able to knock their Serperior out here if they shield up. But they have more energy than I thought, and if I had just thrown right away, I might have been able to get rid of the Serperior. But the opponent does, now that they've just thrown, I can overfarm a little bit more, knowing that they're probably at least 4 or 5 away from the next Aerial Ace. I'm going to go for my Aerial Ace, take them out, and what's in the back here? They still have the Dunsparce on a little bit of HP, but what's in the back? They can't really come in with that Dunsparce because I have a move. They have the Feraligatr, and this is great news because Bibarel is still chilling in the back at full HP. Opponent has to shield up, and we're going to be able to get up to a Hyper Fang here. I just have to make sure the opponent doesn't catch a move, so I'm being very cautious here and trying to watch, make sure they can't. Now, it's a non-Shadow Gator, so I can safely tank 2 Hydro Cannons, and I was waiting for it. I was telling you, I was so focused, I was honed in waiting for it, and it gets me anyway, man. But it's okay. They still can't KO us with a move. They don't seem to have crunch, so they are going to go for the Hydro Cannon. Not going to be enough. We're going to be able to get the Hyper Fang, but the double resisted Shadow Claws knock us out, and now my win condition has flown out the window. What do we do here? I need to get to the air. I need to get to the Oh man, I needed to get to the energy ball, but we're able to make a really nice swap here and catch the charge move on the Gliscor, and we're gonna be able to reach this energy ball just barely. I needed it. It needed it so bad. We have been redeemed after losing our Bibarel. We're able to take out the opponent's Feraligatr. That's gonna be a good game. Well played. Rolling out into this next game, we get the atrocious Wigglytuff on the lead. I'm going to make immediate safe switch into my Gliscor. My whole team is, I mean, kind of squishy. I imagine that they've probably got Mud Slappers in the back. That's a very common thing to see with Wigglytuff. Typically in the Great League is like Wigglytuff, double ground, double Mud Slap, double something. That is obviously fast move oriented because that's the toxic nature of these teams anymore. So Aerial Ace is going to do some good damage here, but unfortunately not going to be enough to knock out. And the opponent does shield up though, possibly concerned about an Earthquake, which is fine with me. Now I'm hoping that my Bibarel can do some work here. We thankfully don't get the one-turn bring-in lag, which means we're going to get another rollout through. And if they're going to go for a move, I want to make sure that I'm not getting eaten alive by the opponent's Icy Wind here. I figured they weren't going to throw the Icy Wind. I was like, I'm going to shield just in case it's not, because I want to keep my Bibarel somewhat healthy. And the opponent has a Credilli in the back, and that's going to be a little bit dangerous. Quite the core breaker for us here, a little bit difficult, but we're going to do our best to go for that energy ball, get the damage in, and then we're going to, it's going to come down to how much damage we can take here. Rock Slide almost knocks us out, but leaves us deep in the red, but because of the fact that they have Grass Knot, or Bullet Seed, I should say. They have Grass Knot too, probably, but they have Bullet Seed on the fast move, which means we're basically taking 1 damage from these Bullet Seeds, and we're going to be able to get to the next Aerial Ace. This is hopefully enough to take out the Credilli, and then we're going to see what the opponent has in the back, because we're going to go into the Bibarel. We're going to be able to take them out before they can charm us down. And what's in the back behind this silly, stupid pink puff? And it's going to be a Clodsire. Clodsire is going to concede the match. I did find out afterwards that Clodsire actually gets fully 2-shot cleanly by Shadow Bibarel, which is why they conceded. Good game to the opponent. Well played, taking a 5-0 in the first set here with the Shadows. This is such a fun team, dude. I didn't realize that this was very close to. I didn't actually get the chance to watch Jamie Finn's video with the Bibarel jump off. I don't know what his third was, but if it was Shadow Gliscor, then this is a complete coincidence. I did not steal any teams, I promise. Next game in, the opponent comes in with a Malamar, but they immediately throw the superpower, and that opens me up for the ability to win switch advantage here, which is extremely important in this situation. We're going to go for the Surf here and look to try and get some chip damage, and then I'm going to look to try and farm down with my Jumpluff. And then get some energy, but the game decides, you know what, we're just not going to work today. So we get one of those nice, you know, wonderful game lags out, even though I'm in a winning position. I should have gotten a win here, probably. I don't know what's in the back, but I'm pretty sure that the amount of advantage that I had in the beginning of this game was not going to be something my opponent could deal with. So, I mean, whatever, dude. Niantic, fix your damn game. For like the 107th time, dude. Anyway, next game we have a Jumpluff on the lead. I need to land Hyper Fangs here. The opponent does get to the energy ball here one turn before I get to my Hyper Fang on good timing. If I were to throw that move right away, we would have been fine. But the opponent's staying in. They're baiting as well, so they do have Aerial Ace. Some of the normal non-Shadow Jumpluffs will have Acrobatics. And so if they go straight Energy Ball, there's a pretty good chance that that's the case. The opponent comes in with their own Bibarel. I'm going to try to go for the Aerial Ace before they can get a Surf off. Surf is going to one-shot my Gliscor, and I have absolutely no intention of shielding here, just because I know that they're not, you know, there's no way that I get this knockout. Now, I was kind of hoping they would go for another rollout there, but Surf completely KOs the Gliscor. And, I mean, it's kind of nice to get this out here. But I have to go for a Surf almost right away. They did overfarm by a little bit, and I want to make sure that I don't end up taking any unnecessary damage on my Bibarel or having to shield, because I need to be able to deal with this Jumpluff. Opponent's going to go for the charge move, and I have to respect the energy ball once again. They go for it and full send it this time, and then we're going to be able to go for more rollouts, go for this Hyper Fang. Opponent throws a move, and I'm like, wait, there's no way this is an energy ball already. It's just an Aerial Ace. We're going to be able to survive that. Going for the Hyper Fang immediately because I don't want to give them a chance to catch a move here. Going for that Hyper Fang that almost knocks out. We're going to go into the Jumpluff, and the opponent has the Kanto Marowak in the back. If we don't get two-shot fully by these Rock Slides, we're going to be fine. We're going to see how much damage. I've not played this matchup too much. Rock Slide almost does 50%. I have to make a chance here. I have to take a chance to make a bait call here. Does the opponent respect this Aerial Ace? Yes, they do. Oh, I'm in shambles right now, dude. If I had just thrown the energy ball, I win the game. It's, oh man, I hate when that happens. We're not gonna be able to get to this move here, but we're gonna have to go for the aerial ace right away. The opponent not at the rock slide yet, thankfully. They needed one more mud slap to get there. The aerial ace is not gonna be enough to knock out. They're gonna go for the move immediately. We're switching into the Bibarel to catch the energy because they basically have to throw immediately or they're gonna lose their Marowak, and we are able to farm down the rest of their team, and that was a very close game. Well played to the opponent. My goodness. Yeah, I thought I had it in the bag when I saw the Marowak, but once again, Shadow Alone Marowak doing Shadow Alone Marowak things, and I wish I had one. We get a great lead here. It is a non-Shadow Gator, which means that our Bibarel is in a really good spot here to absorb all this energy. Opponent throws trying to get a Cap Tie on our Hyper Fang, but we're not going to let it happen, so we get an extra rollout, which is huge. And then we're going to come in with a more Pekko, and I'm going to just go ahead and throw the Hyper Fang here just in case they decide not to shield, which, I mean, it's more Pekko, of course they're going to shield, but we get the Gliscor on here, and the sand attacks are just ripping it apart. Watch its health bar just disappear right now. Now, we can always no-shield the first move from the more Pekko here, because it's only ever going to be Psychic Fangs or an Electric Aura Wheel, but they actually have Seed Bomb, a moveset that I've been using myself on more Pekko, and I love it because you easily just one-shot like every ground type that ever existed. Opponent's going to go for the Aura Wheel, but we're going to be able to farm them all the way down here, and this amount of energy is just immense. Opponent's going to come in with a Talon Flame. I could have gotten a few more sand attacks in there, but I feel the charge attack damage is going to be much more important here, and since they're going to be able to take us out with this next Incinerate, or so it seems, I am going to go ahead and throw a little bit early here just to make sure I get this damage off, and the opponent is going to have to deal with Bibarel. If they're not throwing energy immediately, they're going to have to, man. They have to, otherwise it's getting rolled down. We have the fly shielded. Bibarel is going to be able to get the Hyper Fang off against the Feraligatr. And honestly, Jumpluff is also looking okay as long as we can get a farm. We'll see how much HP they have. Have you ever seen a Jumpluff, by the way? Hard beat a Talonflame. Opponent is not having a good day right now. Their Talonflame is about to get taken out by a Jumpluff. They threw the fly right away, which means that they need 2 more Incinerates to get to the fly, and we're going to throw 4 and then the move as though we had, you know, the opponent was actually still here instead of rage quitting. Shame on you, trainer, just top left, but it's fine. We take him out. Talonflame is no longer a threat to Jumpluff, confirmed. Well played. Next game up, we got another Wigglytuff on the lead. Burn it with fire, please. Going into Gliscor again, just to try and see if we can get the opponent to bring anything in, but again, they usually end up having something like a Mud Slapper in the back. So we are going to be fine here, bringing in our Gliscor, going for these aerial aces, at least the first one. The opponent decides not to shield this one. I'm going to shield this up. The opponent is not charming us down like the previous one did, and it was just a Swift. Now they're going to come in with a Diggersby. A little bit awkward, but Diggersby, hopefully we can handle it. We saw how much damage that Surf did to the Diggersby previously. If we could land a Surf, that would be huge. And the opponent also shields respecting the Earthquake, which is also extremely good for us. Now, I have to be careful about Jumpluff getting locked in against this thing with Fire Punches, so I'm going to come in with Bibarel here, and I'm going to absorb a move here. I think the Scorching Sands, it still does quite a bit, but it's not going to be nearly enough to knock out, and we're going to go for the Surf. The opponent giving us another free move. I'm going to go ahead and shield. I have a lot of energy on Bibarel, and I'm going to see if I can't make something with it. Opponent's going to bring back in the Wigglytuff, and we're going to go for the Surf. If the opponent shields this up, I think we might be able to make it to another Surf. No, probably not, but they let it go. Doesn't matter. And they're going to come back in with the Diggersby. We're going to be able to go for the next Surf. This is going to force the shield or knock out the Diggersby from this range. The opponent respects the damage, and now we can't get to the Surf in time, so I'm forced to pivot out into my Jumpluff. We're going to have to take moves, but we've seen one ground type behind the Wigglytuff. Surely there's another. We have the Wigglytuff, or the Jumpluff. They're Puff, Uff. Everything's Uff here. Goodness. Fire Punches are going to do quite a bit of damage, but I need to be able to land this Energy Ball. I'm going to overfarm just a bit. The opponent staying in to tank the damage. What is in the back? The opponent is going to come in with a Kanto Marowak. We're going to be able to get this Energy Ball off. Now, does it one-shot the Kanto Marowak? That is the question. We're going to see how much damage this does. Energy Ball almost knocks out, but we come into the Gliscor, and they're going to be able to farm down. Good game to the opponent. 2 things in this game bring me joy. More than anything. It's beating Bash Showdown players and beating Wigglytuff players, because I hate both of those Pokemon with a burning passion. The opponent has a Dunsparce in the lead in the next game, and this is not really a lead that I am keen on letting my Jumpluff on. So I'm going to do some chip damage here before I switch into my Gliscor. Our opponent is going to come in with an Azumarill as well. This is kind of not great. The Azumarill is not exactly something I was expecting to see today. Or I mean, I was expecting to, but I was hoping not to see it, rather. But we're going to shield up once and try and see how this matchup goes. I've not obviously played Gliscor into Azumarill before, so I would like to see if I have all this energy, where does this energy go to, and can I get a shield back? Can I win this matchup? Just trying things for science, and that's what I really would say is a good thing to do in this early season is just, you know, if you're testing out new stuff or things that you haven't played before, just let some stuff happen for science. You know, just try and see what happens. Now, I make a switch here to try and catch an Ice Beam. Let's see if we're successful. We catch an Ice Beam. That's fantastic. Gliscor still in the back with some health, and the Dunsparce comes in to get a move off. And I'm like, man, I got to let my Beaver go. I really can't afford to let the Beaver stay up here with that last shield. The opponent still has 2 shields. Jumpluff is in the back. We're going to have to see what the opponent's got in the back so that I can see if I have a chance at winning this game. Jumpluff is my only hope, and I'm just needing to get rid of this stupid Dunsparce here. But the opponent's going to go for their energy, and I'm just going to save the shield for the Jumpluff and maybe hope that I can farm down here if I need to. But the opponent is going to be able to go for a charge move. I have to let this Rock Slide go, I think. It sucks. It's probably going to be the heaviest hitting move left in the game. And the opponent has a Talonflame, and I immediately say, nope, no way you win. Bye. Done. Good game. So we pick up a 3-2 because of Talonflame completely. The Talonflame came back for vengeance is what it was. He said, you beat my brother. You took him to the cleaners with your Jumpluff. Well, watch me. I'm going to take you right back. And they did. I said, there's no way I'm winning that game, and that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.